Cool. Welcome to third round coverage of the 2018 Ledgestone Insurance Open here at the Lake Eureka Temporary Course. We're the 8 of 10 stops on the Disc Golf Pro Tour at this Discraft sponsored event. Coverage powered by Nick Productions. My name's Steve Rachan, here with David Hopkins, and let's see who's on the card today.
Thanks, Steve. We have Garrett Gurthie, Cale Leiviska, Emerson Keith, and Austin Hannum. Gurthie 7 under, Leiviska 6, Emerson 6, and Hannum 6 as well. We're going to have some good action here.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch these guys golf. A couple of the new names on tour, and we get to see players like that rise on such a difficult course. Speaking of difficulty, we are starting on the daunting hole 1 par 4, 633 feet. Plays over water 3 to 400 feet depending on the line that you take. End up short, go to a drop zone. End up deep, you are OB, playing where it lies.
And it looks like Gurthie did come up a little short there. Yeah, you just kind of want to grip it and rip it. A little bit of turn, but you definitely want it to be fading back over that water.
Yeah, exactly. Even though it is ideal to land on the hillside like Cale is right now, putting that OB water in the play. If you were just to smash over the crest of the hill and land at the bottom of the hill inbounds, even though it's a more difficult shot, you are not taking that penalty of going out of bounds and going to a drop zone that's roughly 550 feet away.
Emerson getting a little skim off that ridge up there, and he's an absolute crusher. Watching him, it was a treat.
Yeah, you walk up to Emerson, he's like 5'8", smaller guy, like you're not expecting him to throw, but the second he's lets a disc out of his hand, it's going 550, no problem.
Yeah, he's definitely a young crusher there. And let's see Garrett from the drop zone here after going OB, huge hyzer. This might make it to circle 2. That thing is 100 feet in the air.
Oh my high hyzer. So to put things in perspective, that drop zone is roughly 550 feet over water into headwinds. Garrett's like, I'm going to throw a hyzer through the clouds and put it inside 60 feet.
Oh. His upshot, did it go out of bounds? Nope, we don't have a graphic. We're going to trust our graphics expert, Ryan Nick, and that one stayed inbounds there. There's Emerson's upshot inside the circle. And here is Cale at his second shot.
Yeah, and you kind of see from both Cale and Emerson's lies there, being on a little bit of a slope. Maybe they just didn't have the best footing to get an accurate shot there as they're both sitting about circle's edge.
Emerson cages it. Don't roll.
No, not this early. Don't give him the Walmart roll back this early.
I think he's got this one, though. Step putt.
Oh, sit, baby, sit.
It's going to be interesting to see Emerson battle back after that tough rollback and unable to connect on that comebacker, as Cale also misses his putt for a birdie.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see that early in the round here, especially because of course of this difficulty. Every single throw is stressful, David. Every drive, every upshot, every putt. You're dealing with out of bounds, you're dealing with tight fairways, and you're also dealing with slope greens. And so there's really never a point during this round where you can throw a shot without stress.
That's right. As we see, who is that putting in? Is that Cale?
I believe that was Cale.
And Gurthie going to be putting in. This hole played right around par, I think. Maybe 0.01 strokes over. These guys made it averaged right around there, actually.
Just about, yeah. The card averaged a stroke over par, and and so Gurthie and Emerson losing a stroke to the field. Austin gained a stroke on the field, essentially, and Cale taking a par, but that's no big deal at all. What can you tell us about hole 2 here, Dave?
2-shot hole. First one, if you're throwing a backhand as a right-handed player, you want a little bit of turn on it, land in a good open landing zone so you're able to attack the basket. More than likely, your first shot's going to be a mid-range. Unless you're throwing a forehand like this, you want to keep it low, and you want it to skip and not hit those trees as Austin did. But he didn't land in a terrible spot. Going to be a little obstructed for his upshot there, but...
Yeah, going to be interesting to see what type of route he takes there. If he's going to put the water in play and throw it over, or if he's going to try to finesse through that skinny fairway.
Yeah, and if you watched the first round coverage where we had Cale, it looked like he pretty much replicated that shot there.
Garrett busting out the sidearm here, even though he has such a unbelievable roller play, and there we have it, just in bounds.
Yeah, rollers, it's a risky play here. You do see a lot of players trying it. I'm going to say, it's only the third round, and he's still in it. He's not trying to go full out there. So
yeah, I'd say that sums up almost all the holes in this course, where you need to decide how much risk reward you're going to give yourself and put yourself in that position. As we see Garrett's upshot unfortunately kick off a tree and go right around the edge of the circle there.
Looks about that. And here's Cale. This one looks good as long as it doesn't.
Oh no!
Right side of that tree and goes OB. That's an unfortunate tree kick there.
Emerson, smart play here, going with the flex sidearm.
Oh, that looked like it went over the water and stuck right next to the basket, I think.
Austin's going over the water?
I didn't see it come down.
You know what, David? Because this did not come down at all. The disc hit that tree and stayed up in the air.
And it must have been over the water?
Over the water. He never crossed back in bounds besides that initial point where he threw from.
So there he's thrown, 4, I believe, from there. Mm-hmm. And he's left, circle 2 edge maybe for his putt for a bogey 5, and here it is.
Giving it a little bit you know what, the tree's in the way, so he's just pitching around.
Yeah, he couldn't even make a stab at that one.
It was actually funny. We had Katrina Allen on the card following for this tournament, or for this round, and we saw a yellow disc in the water that we thought was Austin. So she went in there about 8 feet, pulled it out, and I believe it was just like a DX rock that she pulled out. And then we look up and we find Austin's disc landing up inside the tree later on.
And there you see Gurthie putting in. What did hole 2 play as far as difficulty here? It looks like it played .44 strokes over par.
Yeah, it played as the 5th hardest hole of the course, and you're wondering if that's just because it's so early of the round. And so tournaments are still trying to get, I don't really want to say jitters, but when you're playing such a difficult course, you know, there's going to be a little bit of nerves that you don't want to dig a hole that early into a round.
That's right, and we see after 2 holes, Gurthie and Keith both at 6 under, and Leiviska and Hannum at 5 under. And here's a word from our sponsors.
Some swirly vultures.
Moving on to hole number 3, 260 feet, kind of right in front of you with some trees to deal with. There's plenty of different routes here. We've seen a hyzer, surprisingly, up the middle, or even a forehand up the OB.
There's that forehand up and over the OB.
Emerson kicks a late tree and goes out of bounds. He was going to be inside circle 1 there had that not hit the tree.
And this is that super sneaky hyzer route we've been talking about. Garrett's just throwing, I believe, is a champion rock 3 here. Puts himself inside the circle, even though it looks like that line is not even of existence off the tee.
And Cale doing Cale things, just throwing it dead straight through the trees.
Definitely. And you guys are seeing some good shots go up through the gaps here, and you may be looking, it's 260 feet. This hole really plays 300 feet with how far uphill it is.
And unfortunately, Emerson got in the way of our camera there. Austin did kick out of bounds right where he's throwing from here. Throws another forehand up and over the out of bounds, and it looks like he made it, put himself in putting range there.
Oh, there we have it. Want to know what gets you on a top card of the Pro Tour? Hit those outside the circle scramble putts.
Yeah, whether it's for a 2, whether it's for a 3, every stroke counts, and we see Cale put in for a great birdie 2 there. And here's Gurthie after that sneaky hyzer route. Oh, right side chains. And Austin tapping in for that bogey 4. Unfortunate bogey 4, really. I mean, he did kick out of bounds, but this is one that your game plan is to get before you start the round.
Yeah. But you know what? After going out of bounds off that drive, he did the best he could from where he had to play from. And you know what? This trend, I'm guessing, is going to continue throughout the entire round. Scores are going to be up and down after every single hole, as we now see 3 of our competitors at 6 under par and Austin at 4 under par. Moving on to hole 4 here, par 3, 423 feet downhill, OB right the entire way. And you're going to see that with any shot that is traveling with a touch of anhyzer, once it crests this hill, it's just going to keep continuing out of bounds. So players have to have great angle control on their shot while still avoiding the tree line to the left here.
That's right, and you see Cale put a good-looking move on that disc, and it looks like he's inside circle 1 there. See if Emerson can do the same. Looks like he's got a little turn on it. Ooh, that might have been a good tree. Actually.
Yeah, he had a little bit of turn on there, a little bit of height. So if that got past that tree, big chance it could have went out of bounds. And we see this tree line the left-hand side. And if you kick early, you have a little bit of a difficult chance to get up and down. But where Garrett is right now, there's so many avenues to get up and down to the basket that you really don't have to worry about it, even though you think that you're 20, 30 feet deep in the woods.
You're exactly right, Steven. It looks like Austin just didn't give that one enough air under it, and he's going to be pitching up and down, hopefully scrambling for his par here.
Right, and take a look at the way that Austin approached that, is that he has the slope green with OB right, so he put a lot of turnover on that sidearm so that it would eventually come back and hit the ground soft and not flare out of bounds.
You're exactly right, but it looks... Oh, no, he is running it. Ooh, I was going to say he's just laying up, but what a bold move here. Let's see if Emerson's going to go for this one. Oh, he is.
What?
That's 45-plus feet there. What a putt by Emerson.
And so
saving
after
a par.
His upshot wasn't as... Well, he wasn't happy with it. 45 short into the woods. He's like, I'm running this death putt anyway and making it look easy.
And there you see Gurthie almost going out of bounds after missing his putt, but he does manage to stay in, and a great putt by Cale as well, outside the circle there. Gurthie cleans up for his par.
Yeah, one of the rare birdies that we'll see on this hole today. Cale's going to take the card and move on to the daunting baseball field hole.
Yeah, let's just get a quick update on the scores. We had one birdie by Leiviska, a bogey by Hannum, and Emerson and Gurthie both with the par 3.
And coming up is the second hardest hole on the course today. Hole 5, playing 0.6 strokes over par, 476 feet over the baseball field. And now here is a hole where players are going to decide that I am going for it 100% or I am just pitching around and taking my par 3, because if you go out of bounds, you head to a drop zone where 4 isn't even that easy, and you're bringing 5 or 6 into play.
Yeah, that's right. And we see Cale playing pretty conservatively, just throwing a hyzer out there, but it looks like Emerson's doing the opposite.
Oh, he's taking that angle off the pad. Great foot placement there. Can he get enough?
Oh, and he does. Oh,
no, he doesn't. Oh, just a few
I
feet
mistaked
short.
one of the flags for the disc there, but Garrett's going for it.
Holy highness, David. If I threw it that high, I wouldn't even got past like third base. And he's 3 feet away.
What a shot by Gurthie. No stranger to huge hyzers there. And here is Hannum. Looks like he's kind of going the same route as Cale did, just pretty safe, wants to stay in bounds.
Oh, and he brings the other danger in play.
Yeah,
so that's the thing. You can't just grip it and rip it on this hole.
No, yeah, it looks like he had a little bit of turn on his disc, maybe more than he wanted. Maybe he wanted it to be a little more of a hyzer, and it turned on him, and just about a foot long there as Emerson. This up and down is not easy either, as Steve mentioned earlier. It's blind, over 300 feet. So, yeah, getting up and down for that 4 is no easy task.
And so here's Cale's play. He just pitched out to the wide open, probably, 120 to 150 feet, standstill upshot, and he's just taking the stress out of it at this point.
Ooh, and an air ball. That's not going to make him happy there. Let's hope he can come back for that save as Gurthie for the birdie and misses left. What a good putt by Emerson. He is such a good putter, Steve.
That's back-to-back-to-back saves by Emerson, if I'm counting right.
Every stroke counts.
Scramble master.
There's Hannum putting in for yet another double bogey. Let's see if he can turn it around in the next hole.
And Cale, he's happy with this. That's his game plan, just taking the 3. And so even you see where Garrett threw an unbelievable shot, put himself inside the circle and in position to get the birdie. It's not guaranteed with that elevated basket.
There's a little bit of scoring separation there. Gurthie sitting at 6 under. Leiviska 7 under. Emerson taking the bogey, sitting at 5 under. And Hannum 2 under with that double bogey. Moving on to the third hardest hole on the course in hole 6. After playing the second hardest in hole 5, you're moving on to this very difficult par 4, previously a par 5. Steve, what else can you tell me about it?
Yeah, 885 feet. We see 2 basket placements on the green. We're going to be playing the B placement over on the right-hand side. Plays about 12 feet shorter. However, it brings OB a little bit more in play on that second or third shot, depending on how the players are going to attack this hole.
That's right. The first shot, if you could stay in bounds, it's a relatively easy hyzer. Just crush it out there, maybe 400 plus, and it's all about the second shot. If you have enough guts to go for it, it's there.
Exactly. The players are going to have to analyze where their drive lands and the risk reward of going for the green. So Austin playing the hyzer like the rest of his competitors, hoping just to land dead center fairway. And from here, you're looking at it, and you're going to be throwing a sidearm like Austin is towards the tree line, the fight back inbounds. And this play right here, Austin's just saying, I'm taking the 4, and I'm happy with it. Because taking a 4 is taking over half a stroke on the field.
That's right. And you see Cale doing pretty much the same thing as Austin, going for that 4. Gurthie and Emerson, though, both have the power to make it
they
there.
look like they're going for it.
Yeah, he needs this to come back. He threw this over OB the entire time, and can it hyzer back?
Yes, it can. And
What
the
a
skip
shot.
to boot. There we go.
He's going to be maybe circle's edge, maybe inside there. And Gurthie, he is going for it as well. He throws so high, but it goes so far.
So high. It's just so high. If you can throw that far, obviously you're going to throw that high.
And he
But-
puts it under the basket.
Puts it under the basket.
Cale asking for it to get down, puts it right underneath the basket as well. Going to be tapping in for a par, not a problem.
And Austin just leading himself with a little standstill pitch sidearm up to the green. And inside the circle as well, no doubt from there.
Here's Emerson for the birdie 3.
Ooh.
Sticks high left chains, but they grab him and it drops.
Yes, sir. Austin's grabbing his par, and it seemed like that was his game plan, as well as Cale there. Really you're deciding early on in the round, how much risk reward you're really going to play in there. And it seems like Cale starting off with more of a conservative game plan. He's just trying to go for the par on 5 and 6, knowing that, if he gets a little bit too aggressive, he can be taking some pretty high numbers on those 2 holes.
You're exactly right. And as we see, surprisingly, 2 birdies and 2 pars there. Played 0.55 strokes above par. So this card bringing that average down a little bit.
Yeah, it makes you wonder whether that's why they're on this card to begin with. Now, we just played some 2 very difficult holes. We're going to give the players a break. 275. This played the easiest to par for the entire third round. Players are going to throw a flip-up hyzer or a flip-up backhand up the gut or a little flex sidearm. There is an OB creek to the left that if you do get an unfortunate tree kick, you can find, like we saw Cale find round 1.
Yeah, you seen Gurthie there give a little fist pump. He loved that one. He's going to be within 15 feet, I'd say. And you see Emerson throwing that forehand route. Hyzer's just outside the circle there.
Cale, can he correct from round 1's mistake?
And he pures that line.
Correct, he did. That looked more of a flip-up putter shot. Round 1, he went M4. You wonder if the out-of-bounds throw made him change his mind there.
That may have been the case, as Austin trying to copy Emerson's line, and pretty much does. They're both sitting just outside the circle there. And here's Austin's putt. That's a good one. Yep.
He definitely needed that one after taking some bogeys and double bogeys earlier in the round. That par birdie streak in the last 2 holes, you got to think that he's going to be having a lot more confidence now.
Exactly there. And Emerson, unfortunately, just kicks left side. That one doesn't catch his disc. And Gurthie happy to tap in for a birdie there, and Cale as well. Emerson, unfortunately, on this musket birdie, I'm going to say, taps in for his par. And after 7 holes, we see Gurthie and Leiviska 8 under par, Emerson Keith 6 under par, Austin Hannum, hopefully he can get on that birdie train as we've seen him get a birdie there, sitting at 3 under par.
And here we go. Wouldn't have an easy hole in the course. It was a sandwich between 2 pretty difficult holes. Hole 8, 793 feet. having to throw nearly 300 feet over a creek just to get inbounds. Any shot that gets hung up short goes right to a drop zone that's, according to the caddy book, roughly 600 feet away from the green.
And a Gurthie smash. This needs to get off that tree line.
Oh no, the tree line snags it.
Red flag, unfortunately. So Gurthie's going to be playing from that drop zone. Right at the beginning of that mouth that Cale just pured his drive through. That's where the drop zone is, and that's a pretty ideal shot for Cale. You know, not a crush, but he just wanted to make sure he got through that gap.
Can Austin do the same? Oh no, it's turning a little bit too much on him.
Squeak through. Green flag.
Ooh, and you can hear Cale in the background there saying, yep, you found it. Apparently on the right-hand side of this fairway, you can fight your way through that tree line. But you know what? You don't have to fight through the tree line if you just silky smooth smash like Emerson just did there.
Wow, that's a 480-plus foot shot right there. And here's Gurthie from the drop zone. Shooting 3.
Oh my lord.
He fought through all of that and got inside circle 1. Steve.
Drop zone, 600 feet, pure hyzer, through shrubbery, inside the circle?
I'm going to say he put some grease on that disc to get through there. But he is putting for a par 4.
No, he put that through a Hot Wheels turbocharger to get that far.
And we see Austin kind of playing a little conservative, because there's out of bounds on the left-hand side and a little bit of a creek there. So he threw the forehand just to make sure he didn't, throw into there. And it looks like Emerson is doing the same. This looks real good.
Ooh, does not get the action off the ground. Maybe he was looking for. Hands him just a little bit outside circle 1. And Cale, 3 out of the last 4 holes, seems to just be playing the par game. Pitch up, take the stress-free 4 on this hole.
Yeah, there's a lot of birdies on the back half of this course, so maybe he's saying, get through the front half with your pars and attack the back half.
Ooh, and Emerson with a great birdie on hole 8 here.
Even better par there.
You know what? I'm speechless as well, Dave. Because that shot off the drop zone, yeah, you see it on film, you see it on camera, you'd be like, oh, Garrett Gurthie, you just throws far. No. That was an unbelievable shot.
Yeah, close to 600 feet from the drop zone. There's no tee pad there. He's throwing from the grass, so that's super
exactly.
impressive.
And you may be saying, oh, you commentators, you can't do it, so you're impressed. No. Every guy in this card was impressed. Cale, Emerson, Austin were like, how in the world did Garrett just manage that? Yeah. To stay at 8 under par for the first 8 holes of the round. Moving on to hole 9. This is starting off a good little 2 streak. The next 4 holes are all gettable. However, this hole, 354-foot island hole. Do not make the island, go immediately to a drop zone at the front of the bridge.
Yeah, and if you notice the those little advertisement boards there, that is not the out of bounds line, about 20 feet further than that. So you need to clear those plus about 20 feet as Emerson puts it right under the basket and tap in birdie.
Oh no, this needs to get up.
Yeah, it looks like he didn't get enough air on that one.
Ooh. Gets caught by the boards. Even without the boards, it wouldn't have gone inbounds anyway.
Yeah, the grass is pretty tall here, so very minimal skips.
Cale playing, I would say more the conservative route. There's such a larger landing zone to the left-hand side, so you can have the option to hyzer out early and give yourself a longer putt, but ensure that you're staying in bounds. And Austin seems to be doing the same there as well.
Great looking shot there. Here's Garrett from the drop zone.
This has a chance. Ooh. Good looking line.
That's a good up and down for a 4 there. Not as impressive as the last hole. I think the last hole, that's something to be talked about, I think that might be one of
I
the
was
shots
impressed
of the
with
year
Brian Earhart's 150-gram Rattler throw-in.
On that hole, yeah.
But Garrett's shot from the drop zone was just still speechless 1 hole later. And he just scrambled for the 4 there. Drop zone master right now.
Emerson tapping in for that birdie. And Cale unfortunately missed that inside the circle putt.
Yeah, putting that a little firmly in, making sure he's getting his putting stroke dialed in as we finish the front 9 coverage of round 3 here. Cale and Emerson both at 8 under par, Garrett at 7 under par, and Austin at 4 under par. Thanks for joining in. Tune in to the back 9 coverage of round 3 here at the Ledgestone Insurance Open, presented by Discraft.
Peace.